Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Chisme Chronicles podcast.
Episode 40.
What do we do? What do we tell them? Let's switch it up.
You guys know what's up. You know what we do here. But if you don't, what do we do?
What we do is a lot of Am I the A-hole Reddit content. Some Today I Effed Up content. That's like our 90% of our content right there. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we've done a couple like a random little episodes with like tweets and whatnot, but for the most part, if you guys enjoy Am I the A-hole, Today I Effed Up, Petty Revenge type of stories, you're at the right place. Hit that subscribe button. Watch all the videos, share them with all your friends, share them with your grandma. Share it with all your homies if you guys like it. Help us grow the channel. Our goal is to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're so close.
Feels reasonable.
We're at 436 subscribers. Share it with your friends. I'm proud of every single one of those subscribers. So yeah, that'd be dope. I mean, just to see the channel grow and seeing that we're reaching more people and that people keep enjoying it. So yeah, that'd be awesome.
Join the little community, the Chismosos. The
Chismoso community. Hey, you want to be part of us? It's very exclusive. For limited time only. The subscription is open.
Yeah. You know, join now to be part of the first 500.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Only the first 16 get a car.
Yeah.
It's a shared
one car to share together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today we're doing Am I the A-hole? 4 stories like always, and we always blind react to each other's stories. And so we're just going to jump into it and hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Let me find my story. I'm just kidding. Okay, here we go. Story number 1. Am I the a-hole for telling my aunt to keep her gifts since my kids couldn't care less about them? I have 2 toddlers, sons. They're just like any other toddler and are pretty self-absorbed. Currently, one adores cars and the other loves the color red. Toddler 1 won't play with anything but cars, and toddler 2 will only play with red toys. My mom hosted a party the other night, and one of my aunts came. She bought a bunch of gifts for all the kids. The older kids were respectful and accepted their gifts. My sons simply glanced at the toys, noticed they weren't cars or red, and moved on to something else. I thanked her for the toys and made a joke about how unpredictable toddlers are after realizing that she looked upset, but she rolled her eyes and said, "That was rude." I told her that they're toddlers, and she said, "So? My kids knew how to say thank you by the time they were 3. I told her that they can say please and thank you, but they're still learning. She made a noise and said, "Learning to be rude." I told her she was being a little sensitive and that they're literally babies. They don't even understand the concept of being rude or ungrateful. She got annoyed and said, "Fine then. Don't expect any more presents after today," and that she hates entitled parents like me who are blinded by their children and think they can do no wrong. I said whatever. I said whatever and told her she could keep the gifts she bought for today since my kids couldn't care less about them. She got all red in the face and said, now she knows why the boys are so rude, but I just grabbed the kids and my husband and left. I was extremely angry at the moment, but now I'm just in disbelief. Who gets offended by a toddler? My mom says my aunt is very upset with me and is threatening to uninvite us from her Christmas dinner, which she is hosting this year, unless I apologize and promise to raise my kids better. My mom thinks we're being ridiculous and I should just say sorry, but I said no. Am I the a-hole? I just can't wrap my head around why she's so angry. And then there's an edit. It says, first, to be more specific, the boys just turned 2. Second, I feel I made this clear, but I apologized and thanked my aunt before anything else. The boys had already run off to their dad and were preoccupied with him by the time I got to my aunt, so dragging them over and trying to maybe get a thank you out of them felt like a waste of time for all of us. I'm not saying she isn't allowed to feel hurt, but she didn't have to say all those things about my kids. I've explained this in the comments. People still think I'm in the wrong, but a few people are saying to include it anyways. The boys don't really speak. Yes, they're 2, and I'm sure your 2-year-old niece or nephew can speak several languages, but my sons barely say mommy and daddy sometimes. It's not something concerning, but I didn't think it was worth the time to drag my kids back to me and my aunt and get them to say thank you, which they won't even acknowledge me until about 10 minutes in, and then they'll just stare. Sometimes I can get a noise out of them, or they'll say ooh or something, but I figured my aunt had better things to do than wait that long. I sincerely believe that there was no reason for her to get so angry, but I understand that I was wrong. I sincerely believe that there was no reason for her to get so angry, but I understand that I was wrong and will apologize. We won't be attending her Christmas party though. So I just want to say, like, it says everyone sucks POO mode or poo mode. Not sure what that means, but like,
I don't remember.
Yeah, but so basically, the verdict is that everyone sucks, and a lot of people are like telling her that she's wrong. So she's like then basically accepting what those people are saying.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, I guess I'm wrong. I'm going to apologize, but I'm not going to go to the Christmas party.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I completely disagree. I don't know what you think.
I was going to say my immediate instinct, I'm sorry if I sound weird, I'm a little sick, but my immediate instinct was that she also sucked. But after she was like, yeah, I know. Basically, I agree with you. I don't think this. I think that maybe she could have done a little bit things differently, like trying maybe get the kids to say thank you or something. But I don't think it was that big of a deal at all. Like not enough to make her the a-hole. And yeah, I think that the aunt is the a-hole for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, like, I know exactly. Everything that she was writing, like I can relate to all of that because I have a 4-year-old.
I was imagining you,
yeah,
and my tia trying to like get the girls.
Dude,
like,
you can't do that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like one just turned 4, the other one's not even 2 yet, almost 2.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like if they would have gotten like the gift and they're opening it, I would have been like, hey, say thank you. But sometimes they don't want to say it, and you can't force them to say it. And you'll get them and be like, you have to say thank you, okay? You're trying to explain it, but little kids sometimes they'll be like, thank you, okay, or whatever. And sometimes then they'll start feeling like they're in trouble, or they're like, everyone's looking at them waiting for them to say thank you, and then they'll get embarrassed and they'll shut down and like, oh, I'm not gonna say. Dude, there's 2 little boys that are 2. I feel like the freaking aunt is like, I felt so weird reading this story too, because I'm like, I always say aunt, right? Like, oh, my aunt. But like other people are like, oh, my aunt. I'm like, I think it's aunt.
Yeah.
Right.
I have no idea. Literally, I didn't know the English words for tia and Theo until I was in 3rd grade.
Second generation.
Second generation.
Dude, so I'm like, my aunt. I'm just gonna say aunt. That's how I that's wrong though.
Yeah.
I
don't know. But.
Anyway, yeah. I'm just like, dude, they're not even 2 years old, and I think it's so funny how she also wrote like, I'm sure your niece and nephew probably speak 5 different languages, because you're always going to have those haters or those idiots. Well, my kids, my niece can speak 2 languages. Well, okay, who gives a shit about your kids?
Yeah.
Some kids don't really get really comfortable with being verbal till they're 2.5 or 3 or something. Yeah. Some of them, like my parents, I have so like my 2-year-old or my 4-year-old now. She didn't really start speaking a lot until the little one was born, and at that point she was. Until like a little bit right after she was born. At that point, she was like 2 years and 4 months. Yeah, she would say little words here and there. She would say things here and there. Mm-hmm. But once our second daughter was born, then she really started vocalizing. And she just started like letting everything out. But I just thought it was funny. Like my parents, like, dude, every single time they were around my daughter, the oldest one, they were all like. So I have a cousin that like her kid was like 1.5 years or something, and was like just full blown sentences. Yeah. Like she would just say so many things. Like, okay, that's cool. But my parents would be like, oh, you're Adriana's the little girl. Like she'll say everything, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. But then every single time you see me and my daughter, and you're always saying that, it's at some point I was like, okay, Mom, I get it. Like my cousin's kid can speak a lot. What do you want me to do? Yeah. You want me to? It's like you want me to. Yeah. Like none of this is helping. Not that I needed help with my daughter speaking. No, yeah. It's just like, cool. cool. Stop reminding me.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, so my parents like got on my nerves
Like
about
it
that.
doesn't matter.
It was like so annoying. Like, oh, wow, her daughter says so much. Like, okay, cool. So you just want to keep saying that my daughter's not speaking?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just like it's the obvious comparison. It's not because like you can be proud of, you know, your other whatever family member's kid or whatever, but it's the obvious comparison. It's bringing it up after your daughter doesn't say thank you for something. It's, you know what I mean? It's like, it's like, okay, she doesn't talk yet. Of course she didn't say thank you.
It's like, what do you want me to do?
She didn't talk yet. Yeah.
It's like, well, and it was, and it's not that I was feeling it wasn't in any way feeling like they were putting her down or something or anything, but it was like cool, you've said that like so many like I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish. Because at some point it's like, well, I would just be like, no, que bien, que suave, cool, oh wow, that's so cool. Yeah, like what do you want me to do?
Yeah, you told me that last time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like so
yeah, no, but she sucks. I feel like because as I don't know. I don't have any. Obviously, I don't have kids. So again, when you were telling the story, I was imagining you and my tia. You know, and it's like I just totally.
Don't you mean your aunt?
My aunt. Yeah. I totally could see like giving the girls like a present or something. Then maybe, you know, and it's always. You have to know that it's like that when you're giving kids presents, even to the point that like my tia's side of the family, whenever you guys have birthday parties for the girls, they like compete to see who gets like the most attention for their present. You know what I mean? Totally. Have that's like something that they do. And I think it's hilarious.
Like the family members that are giving a gift. Yeah. Like depending on how much interaction or the excitement of that my daughters have towards that gift, they'll start like, you know, scoring it between them to see who wins.
And like I've been there when one of the people in the competition gives them a gift that the girls just do not give an F about. Yeah. You know, I've seen that, and it's just like, oh, like, but like you're not mad at the kid, you know what I mean? It's just like, so I totally, and I've seen you guys countless times be like, oh, thank you so much, you know, because like the kids are just, there's another present, you know, like whatever, there's something else cool to open. I don't care about this one, you know, like
I feel like, you know, if your kid is like, you know, I don't know, not that like there's obviously, if your kid is 10 years old, I mean, at that point, right? But like even like 5, you know, they can be 5. 5 can still be really unpredictable, whether like what they're willing to say or not say, and it's not that you're at home or not teaching them please and thank you.
But by the time they're 5, you maybe you should be dragging them over to say thank you. You know what I mean? Or try or making that attempt regardless of their reaction. You know, but when they're 2 years, and again, you know, who knows what that line is or whatever. Yeah. But when they're 2 years old.
Yeah, and the thing is, and she goes, so she gives them the gifts, and they are like, oh, well, they're not interested in those kind of toys right now. So then they just kind of like, and they just moved on to the other toys. So then the mom is like, oh, thanks her, and makes a joke about how unpredictable toddlers are. When she realized that the aunt was kind of upset, she's like, oh, thank you, like, oh, thank you for the gifts. You know, who knows what these boys are into right now or whatever, you know, anything. But then the freaking adult goes, that was rude. Like,
yeah, I was going to say, I think that's why I thought maybe I was going to say where I was like bordering on if she was the a-hole at first. I wonder how she said that, because I feel like in my head, like if who said it, how the OP said it, how if she was like, like if she said verbatim, they're not interested in those kind of toys right now, like I still think that the aunt overreacted, but I might be a little bit butthurt. I just feel like there's better ways you can phrase that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean,
because it's like, oh, like, you know, I wasted my money. You know, like I don't like I might be butthurt if somebody told me, like if I got your girls a gift and then you were just like, oh, they're not into that.
I don't think OP said that though.
Yeah,
I don't.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder how she did say. I wonder how she said.
Yeah, because
you know?
and I would never, like, if you bought them a toy that I know that they don't like because we've purchased, I'd be like, oh, thank you. Like, why would I make next? Now I'm making you feel bad.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah. So that was why I was bordering on that thought. That, and like I also did question like, oh, should she have brought them over to say thank you? Because it's like, at what point do you do that? But then obviously she explains that the kids barely
they had already ran over there and they're playing with the dad.
And they barely talk and whatever. And it's like, okay, I'm not gonna drag them.
And like, okay, maybe she could have just gotten them, carried them, be like, say thank you, and then whether they say it or not, at least you're making the effort to like, you know, show them to be. I don't know where I'm like jumping, you know, show them the effort of like, you know, saying thank you or whatever. But like, yeah, you could say maybe she should have done that, maybe she shouldn't have, but it's not enough to sway me into say she should have done that 100%, and therefore she is the a-hole.
Exactly.
Also,
yeah,
or whatever.
That was my very first thing was, like, she could have maybe done a little bit of things different, a couple of things differently, but not enough to. Yeah, I think it's just so tough because then people always go like, because it's like, like you should show your kids to say thank you. But this one incident, maybe she was tired and didn't want to do that. Maybe the boys were, happy and she didn't want to bring the mood down. It's like this one incident isn't enough to say that she's a bad parent.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what everybody always does. It's like, well, your kids are never going to understand thank you. They're going to be entitled.
And this is why society.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, dude, like.
So dumb.
Whatever. Anyway. Okay. Story number 2. Am I the a-hole for wanting to divorce my husband over kids? I, 29 female, knew from a young age I never wanted to have or raise children. I met my husband in college. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I met my husband in college and he was decidedly child-free too. We got married a couple years back. My husband's younger sister, 24 female, has 3 kids. 2 5-year-olds and a 2-year-old with different deadbeat guys. 2 months ago, she left them all. Oh my gosh. 2 months ago, she left all of them at our house. She said she was going to run an errand and she never came back. Just left. We filed a report and everything. Last we heard, she was safe but did not want to come back. My husband's mom is a minimum wage worker, barely scraping by. She used to be a single mom and did not want to raise these kids. I don't want to raise them either. Don't get me wrong, I feel bad for them, but raising kids is a huge responsibility that I don't want to have to take up. In the 2 months that they were here, our expenses have increased. We had to buy them clothes and stuff, and they are sleeping in the living room on our air mattress. They only have a 1-bedroom apartment. A 1-bedroom like home. I had to work from home and look after them because my husband could not get a work from home job, and daycare for 3 is expensive. It has been really tough to say the least. CPS did get involved and they asked us whether we want to keep the kids or not. I do not. I thought my husband would be on the same page, but he wants to keep the kids. CPS has asked us to decide quickly and make necessary changes. They have to get a bigger home. My husband and I have gone back and forth on this. I cannot live the next 16 years like this. Raising kids is hard and expensive, but he wants to be there for his family, which I get. So yesterday I told him I want a divorce. Quickly before he made any commitments and dragged me into this with him. He called me the a-hole for divorcing over kids, for abandoning him when he needed me. I told him that he knew my boundaries well in advance and that this was a commitment that that we were unilaterally decided on. Like not having children. Am I the a-hole? And then it says, some relevant content for information. He leaves before 7 a.m. and reaches back home after 8 p.m. In the morning, he barely helps because he has to get ready for work. He's still lets give him 2 hours for that, generously. He helps the kids after he reaches... He helps the kids after he comes home and only has off on Sundays. Where he still does not take care of the kids all by himself and needs my help. I tried telling him I need a day to work, but he keeps disturbing me every 5 minutes, wanting something. Basically, I'm never off the clock, and he's barely ever on it. Yesterday was the first day he did all of it himself, or tried to, and it was a disaster. And then it says, also maybe not relevant, but 1 out of every 5 comments are telling me to like remember my wedding vows, and she just is saying that like that this was something that they had agreed on previously, and they didn't do the whole till death do us part thing and whatever. I don't know.
Okay, they didn't do the whole
that's what she said. That's what she said.
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I'm trying to like, sheesh. It was 2 5-year-olds and a 2-year-old?
Well, I think so, because it says 5M, M, and 2 female.
Probably 2 5-year-old twins.
Yeah, 5-year-olds.
And a 2-year-old baby.
Yeah.
So the husband has a sister, and then her situation is bad. So
she just left them.
She dumped them with her brother.
Yeah.
the grandmother was a single mom, and she's like, dude, I can't do this. I already did this.
Yeah.
And the brother is he's like, well, these are my niece and my nephews. I'm gonna have to raise them.
Yeah.
Which I would understand. Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he didn't, he's like, oh, I don't want any kids. Like,
I don't want to raise them, but I don't want to just send them off somewhere either.
And he also was like, I'm choosing not to have children of my own children.
Yeah.
But I can see why he would change his mind.
Yeah.
Because this is not him all of a sudden telling his wife, I really want to have kids.
Or adopt, or either.
This is like
a situation that
I now need to do this for my family.
Yeah.
So he's not like he backed out.
No, he didn't.
He's not backing out on the original agreement of like, we don't want to have kids. This is like a crazy special circumstance where he's gonna do it.
Yeah, it's not even one that you would like bring up theoretically when you talk about like how because it's like okay, like I feel like if you're just like, hey, neither one of us want to have or raise kids. Okay, we don't want to have our own kids. We don't ever want to adopt. We don't want to foster. None of that. Okay, cool. I feel like this is not a situation you would think to bring up theoretically. You know what I mean? Even in those discussions, it's just like, this is insane. And like, I don't know. I personally, I not only do I think that she's not the a-hole. I don't think anybody's the a-hole, but I think she is right. I think she's helping the situation. Not like helping him, but I think that she's right for leaving him, only because like I have such a fear of like somebody just like being with me and being upset or miserable for any reason, and then the situation just gets so toxic and disgusting. It's like, you have started resenting me because of this situation that was out of my control, which is not your fault, because also now you're dragged into this and it sucks for both of us. You know what I mean? But like, now you resent me, now you hate me, now the kids feel that also, you know what I mean? And like, our marriage is ruined, and like, why are you here? Like, just end it now. Just cut it off now. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be here, so please do not be here. Yeah. I don't know.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I agree with that 100%. Mm-hmm. But like, I'm like trying to think. I'm trying to with you, as I get what you're saying about like, you know, just a couple, whether you have kids, without kids or whatever, just like people dating and like, you know, or then getting married and then, oh, now you're with me just because we were dating for so long.
Yeah.
I'd rather just, let's go our separate ways. But like on this one,
I think it's extra with kids though.
I don't know how I feel about it. I'm so, this is not something where I can just, you know, come up with this is a tough one. This is probably the hardest. We haven't had any story where I really don't know what to say or what to.
Yeah. I'm so decided because I get what you're saying about like, oh, that being the situation with like a couple, but I think it's even more so with kids, because first of all, it's not even their kids together. If she leaves, she's just out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, why would, like, I don't, like, those kids would grow up in such a horrible situation, like a horrible, like emotionally like tumultuous situation. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, because it's like, now you know that like your whatever, let's say stepmom for just to use those terms, right? Or adopted mom or whatever, foster mom, whatever. I don't know. Like, your tia basically hates you, you guys.
Right.
She doesn't want you guys.
Yeah.
She never wanted you guys.
Yeah, she doesn't.
And now she hates your uncle because he wanted to keep you.
I would say doesn't hate them, but hates having them.
Yeah, hates having them. Hates having to raise them.
Hates having to raise you because
spend
like,
money
I
on them.
love you as a niece or nephew, that you should be growing up with your mom.
Sure.
Yes. Now I have a 1-bedroom. Now I have to buy you clothes, so you got to take you to school. Dude, parenting is a huge responsibility.
She's basically giving up her career.
And it's not only the responsibility of the like the daily the ins and out of just living your life every single day. Mm-hmm. You know, like, we need groceries, we need to wash the kids. We need to wash the kids' clothes. They need a little bed. They need to go to school. There's that part, but then there's all of the emotional side of raising kids. Mm-hmm. Yes, I take my daughter to school. Yes, I pick her up. Yes, I feed her. But if that's all I did, that that would not be good because I need to be nurturing her. I need to be spending time with her. I need to be showing her love. You're
there for the tantrums. You're there for everything.
Yeah, it's like I keep losing the word that I'm trying to the word that I'm trying to use. I feel like it starts with an S, like not system, but like the you don't know what I'm trying to say.
No,
like there's like if. I hate that I can't figure out the word that I'm trying to say. Logistics.
S.
Yeah, I knew there was an S in there. There's obviously all these logistics with like kids and just family. Mm-hmm. But there's that part, and then there's the most important part is like
the emotional
stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it would be horrible for those kids to grow up like that. It's just like, there's your food, there's your clothes, and she's like, yeah. Do they love me? Do they even want me?
And like,
here?
no, she doesn't. Or like, not in the way that like, a mother figure, would or should or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, no, she doesn't. She actively doesn't want you there. And like, that's horrible to like grow up and like at one point they're gonna know that. They're gonna figure that out. They're gonna feel it.
Yeah. Damn.
So like, thank you. Like I actually like have like some respect for her for leaving, and it sucks. It's a horrible situation, and I feel horrible for the uncle that decided to take them in, because like I think I would do the same thing. At least I want to firmly believe that I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I actually have like kind of respect for her for leaving, because I just think that it if the uncle is able to figure that out, that it just becomes a better situation for everybody.
Yeah, so I that's where I'm kind of like, she's not the a-hole for the kids' sake, mm-hmm. and it's better. They were gonna be better without her, mm-hmm. but then like she's the a-hole for like, forget it. That's so stupid. We didn't say the for better for worse stupid. Part. Like just like, okay, like I mean, I thought we were gonna be together.
Yeah,
we love each other and we're together no matter what happens.
She would have hated her husband. She would have ended up hating him.
So she wanted him to say,
she was already resenting him.
She wanted him to be like, I can't take him in because we agreed that we're not going to have kids, so send him to CPS. That's what she wanted him to.
I don't think that's what she wanted either, but I think that this is not what she wanted. There was just no good situation, I feel like.
No, you know she wanted him to say, no, I can't take them in.
Oh yeah, she said that she didn't want them.
Like,
yeah, but
that she said, I thought he was gonna agree with me.
Yes, but I feel like what I mean is, I feel like framing it that way is tough, because it's like I don't assume that she wanted them to go to CPS, but she just didn't want to keep them either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's not like, oh, I want them to freaking go to foster care. I don't care about them. It's just like, I know that I can't, and I don't want to keep them.
Yeah.
Which is horrible. Like, that sucks.
I'm just gonna have to go with undecided.
That's so tough.
I have to go with undecided.
I actually I feel like, I don't know if this is gonna be controversial, but I actually have respect for her for leaving.
I agree with what you said right now. You said something like you said like, oh, like regardless, whatever happens with you and them or whatever, I know that I can't. Mm-hmm. So it's if you. Like, obviously there's so many layers of like messed up situation right here. Like, it's like tough, him and the kids and the grandmother, blah, 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 whatever. But like, if I just think about her and she's like, I cannot do this. Mm-hmm. I won't be able to do this. Mm-hmm. And I have to leave. Mm-hmm. So like, you can't be mad at someone for leaving. Well, I guess I was going to say, you can't be mad at someone for leaving because they know they can't do something. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, I'm like, wait, but that's exactly what the mom just did. The mom's like, I can't do this.
Yeah, no. But there she's abandoning
her kids.
That's right. Different. Because you could still say like, oh, this person's like abandoning their marriage.
Yeah.
But like, it's so different. It's so different.
Yeah. Adults versus children.
Yeah, like you can't abandon your 3 babies. Are you freaking kidding me?
Oh man, I'm just gonna rock with undecided. I know that's like, or is it a no one sucks here?
Yeah, that's also an option. Yeah, I think nobody sucks, and I also have respect for her for leaving. So my thing is, I'm gonna go with nobody sucks. I'm gonna go with nobody sucks. Yeah, because
he's stuck in a position where I love you, and I know that we agree we didn't want kids, we didn't want to have kids, but I have to do this because
that's what I hope.
My kids do. These kids that are my family are being given to me, and I know that you did. So because he's also, so I guess you could say they're both making a decision that's causing them to split. Mm-hmm. Both of them. Mm-hmm. Because they're like, okay, you don't want kids, I don't want kids, so we're together. If all of a sudden the wife wanted kids, maybe he's like, well, I don't want to be with you. I don't want to have my own kids. It's kind of the same thing. And if he's like, well, I actually do want to have kids. And she's like, well, I told you I don't want to have kids, so I'm going to split. Mm-hmm. But because these kids were kind of put upon him, he's like, I love you, but I know that we didn't want to have kids, but I'm going to choose them over us not wanting kids. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, well, I'm going to choose not wanting kids over us being together. Yeah, I'm going to go with nobody sucks. Yeah. I'm going to go with nobody sucks. They each had to do what they had to do.
Yeah. He made the righteous decision, but it's like, you have to understand that you made this decision at the risking our marriage, because this was a something we had agreed upon previously, and like, you made the right decision. Please make whatever decision you feel right, but you have to understand that it's risking our marriage, and like, that's just not as like a threat, just as a fact.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Dang, because they could have like ended up divorcing anyways, even 3 years later.
Yeah,
you know,
and
whatever.
It's like, what, I didn't take the kids and we ended up getting divorced anyway. You know, like, that would be in the back of my brain for the rest of my life.
Yeah, damn, that was a hard one.
Tough.
Let's see here. Sheesh.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, like, and then she was taking care of them basically by herself too. Not to keep harping, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's like another thing. Like, you know,
it's like, oh, these are our kids, but
yeah. So I forgot to even mention that. Like,
you run for 13 hours a day.
Exactly. He's like, yes, cool. I am going to take them on, but she's basically raising them now by herself. So not only did they both not want them, they're not even able to share the load. Mm-hmm. She's taking 90% of the load,
if not more. Yeah,
it's 90. Okay, damn, that was crazy. Okay, story number 3. Am I the a-hole for telling my family I won't be getting them Christmas gifts? I, 26 female, am a single woman to my son, 3, and work 3 jobs now to support the 2 of us. Christmas time has always been a bit difficult. However, this year is by far the worst. I took on a 3rd job to help get us an apartment. However, because of this, my gross income is now too much to receive food stamps, so I lost over $600 per month because of this. The apartment I got was the cheapest I could find without putting us in a bad area, and also within a school district that could provide the services my son needs. I should also mention this year we found out that my son has autism, so there are certain foods he will eat and tons of foods he won't even touch. Mix this in with a lactose allergy and everything that he will eat adds up. I have been stressing out about how I was going to get my family and my son presents this year due to finances being extremely low. I always get very anxious about the holiday and gift giving to begin with, but knowing that I can't afford it this year has been weighing on me. In total, with just immediate family on both sides, I have 24 people, including my son, to get gifts for. I have tried to suggest doing a white elephant or Secret Santa to cut down the list and costs. However, one side of my family said no, and the other agreed, but ended up buying everyone gifts anyway. After thinking it over, I realized that this year I was only going to focus on my son, parents, 2 sisters, and my nana. So I thought the best idea was to have the talk with my nana first to see what her response was. To my surprise, when I mentioned this and explained that I just couldn't afford to get everyone present this year, her response was the opposite of what I was expecting. She at first just stared at me and then said that I could find a way to make it work. I explained that the only way would put me in tons of debt, and it would be different if our family's expectations in a gift weren't as costly. For context, gift cards or memberships aren't allowed. Okay. Each gift has to be over $25. She then proceeded to tell me that I was being lazy, and if I really wanted to try this year, then I would figure it out. I gave up trying to explain and just moved on. Now she is telling my family, and they are divided. Some say I'm just being lazy and can do it if I really wanted to, while others are saying that I can choose to get gifts for whoever I'd like. I'm starting to feel conflicted. Am I the a-hole?
So obviously not. I do not. Are you doing math right now?
Yeah, I wanted to see. I was like, minimum
$25 minimum. Who says that?
I mean, it has to be over $25. So you're gonna, if 24 people times $30, dude, $720. Like 700. First of all, her family's wild. I don't think she's the a-hole.
No.
This to me is I thought it was interesting because like obviously we're coming up on the holidays and like Christmas is coming up, and like to me this is an example of like what I don't like about Christmas.
Yeah.
Like this is like people. I am all like, you can buy gifts for whoever you want.
Yeah.
And you can buy it at whatever value you want.
Yep.
But when it starts to get like, hey, well, if we're and I am okay with doing a value on Secret Santa or something like that,
exactly.
right? Like I think that's fun because like then we're all
Because
that's just cool.
Gift and it's something that you consult with the family.
And it's also like a game, right? It's a game versus like, let's do a Secret Santa. You can do whatever you want. And then like somebody gets a gift that's worth $100 and somebody gets a gift that's worth $20. And then all of a sudden everyone's fighting over the $100 gift. Like it's gonna be the first one or white elephant. It's the first one that's gonna get stolen or whatever, And if you're all if it's like $50 white elephant, then all the gifts are kind of comparable, and it's also a game. Not that gift giving needs to be equal.
No.
If you weren't doing the games and you're just gift giving and then receiving, and you buy somebody a $50 gift, I think it's 100% wrong to be upset if you got a $20 gift.
Yeah.
Because it's not about exchanging value. It's not about, I bought everybody a $50 gift, therefore I expect a $50 gift from everyone. Mm-hmm. Then what the F is the point? What are you guys even doing? Like, why do we even have? It's just something that really, really annoys me. Like, I think that's
just like there's
totally
no sense
wrong.
of like being grateful or anything either. It's like, dude, like I don't know, like especially if you're coming from a family that big, like regardless of if you know somebody's struggling or not, but especially that they know he's struggling. It's like the fact that you were able to swing me a $5 gift card to Target is. Thank you so much. You know what I mean? Like I cannot imagine being like so ungrateful and gross. Like. I don't know.
To
like,
be if you were
rules?
ungrateful, yeah, totally. It's like, okay, dude, because why would you be upset?
Yeah.
The only reason you're upset is because you bought somebody a $50 and you got a $5.
Also, if everybody is buying presents for everybody in this 25-person family,
you're getting 30 gifts.
I'm not gonna go around counting and seeing who didn't get me a present. You know what I mean? Like how are you gonna go around and be like, well, Uncle Timmy didn't give me a freaking present. Okay, I literally didn't even notice. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. When I was like younger, well, we always used to get gifts for everyone. Like not any value. It was just buy presents if you want, whatever. Yeah. This is like with my parents, my sister, my brother, and I.
Yeah.
And then you guys came along and kind of disrupted everything.
We still got gifts from everybody. Yeah.
No, so I mean, I used to get my dad, my mom, my brother, my sister, and then you and Devi and your dad, and like I would get a gift for everybody. And then, but like it's just you do.
Now you have a family, and it just gets more and more.
Yeah, it gets more and more and more, and then my wife's like, we should just do white elephant or whatever. And at first I was like, no. Yeah. We always get gifts for everyone.
Yeah. My mom did the same thing.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, okay, wait a second. Like, yeah, it is getting more expensive. And it's also like not 100%. It's not like necessary to get everyone a gift. And if we're doing either Secret Santa or White Elephant, everyone's still getting a gift, and it's still fun. Like, because like sometimes, when we do with the white elephant, sorry, not with the white elephant, with the Secret Santa, is someone will go and open the present that's for them, and then you try to guess who gave it to you. Mm-hmm. So we still make a game out of it, you know, and it's like totally fine. And it's fun, and I think it's better, than to worry about getting 20 gifts for people and like.
Also, like if you do something like white elephant or Secret Santa or whatever, if you have more, like if you have like extra money or whatever that you were planning on spending presents on, it's like, okay, now that gives you more allowance to like spend money on your own kids or your partner or whatever, and it's like things that that they like and or whatever, or not, because like the end of the year is expensive, and I don't know. I don't know.
I just don't like that whole like
side of Christmas.
Yeah, that whole side of Christmas of like where people are like, you need to give me this and you need to give me that, and like I hate that.
It's terrible. It's disgusting.
Not the a-hole.
Not the a-hole, obviously, and her family sucks. Her family sucks. Is the a-hole.
The people that obviously except for the ones that are like, hey, get for whoever you want.
Yeah. Okay. Am I the a-hole for refusing to weigh myself in front of my partner? Backstory, I and my fiance and I have broken up over this, and I need some impartial opinions about if I'm the a-hole. I'm very insecure about my weight, and I've put on about 10 kilograms through COVID, work, stress, and grief. I received an ultimatum in July from my fiance that if I didn't lose 4 kilograms by my birthday, which was yesterday, then the wedding at the end of the year is off, and he demanded to know what my starting weight was. I was really distressed and sad by this at the time of the request, and I couldn't even engage him for a week. I even saw a psychologist to help me process it. I eventually cracked and told him my weight, which was 76 kilograms. We don't live together. I worked really hard to lose 5 kilograms in about 5 weeks, and yesterday was my birthday, the weigh-in day. He came over to visit. First thing in the morning, I wanted to get this over with, and I was still upset by the whole experience. So I stood on the scale in just my pajamas and weighed myself at just over 70 kilograms, which he looks at and verbalizes. He weighs himself and then asked me to come back and re-weigh myself in front of him without any clothes on. I refuse. My reason was that I already felt humiliated, and I was mentally only prepared to do it once in my mind, which I did. He thinks I'm the a-hole because I refuse to do something that is important to him. I think he's the a-hole for making me go through this experience. I texted a single, trusted friend who gave me some reassuring words, essentially that I'm not crazy and this isn't my fault, which I shared with him, and I'm not saying who the friend was. He thinks that this is not impartial and I'm bad-mouthing him. We broke up over me refusing to re-weigh myself in front of him without clothes on. Am I the a-hole for refusing to weigh myself in front of my partner?
So, she, not that I agree with what he did, but she weighed less than what he wanted. He wanted her to drop 5 kilograms, which she did, because she weighed 76, and she came in at just over 70, so she dropped the 5 that he wanted. But
4. He wanted her to lose 4, and she lost 6.
Oh, lost 6.
Or just under, because she weighed just over 70.
Yeah, so just over 5. That's just under 6, just over 5.
Yeah.
The over-under. The old over-under. So, what am I trying to say here? Just going to have 2 thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
One thought that I have is that people might hate me for this, but what I'm going to say is that, like, how do I say this?
Do you allowed to have weight preference?
Yes. Like for example, my like the way that my wife is and that I am, that makes us attracted to each other. There are elements that you can control and there are elements that you cannot control. If something happened where I got really sick or something and all of a sudden I got really big or whatever and I can't control that, then I would hope that my wife wouldn't leave me for that. Vice versa. We're talking about things that we can control, right? And if I'm attracted to her, physically attracted, because there's emotional attraction and there's physical attraction.
Yeah.
And if I'm attracted to her, if I'm physically attracted to her in a certain way, and she's also physically attracted to me in a certain way, and obviously if I gain 10 pounds, she's not going to care, because I gained 14 pounds with it. I was 180 pounds and I still look like me.
Yeah.
But if I went up to 230, she might be like, yo, like, what's going on? Like, you're so different. Like, I'm not attracted to this.
Yeah.
And that would be 100% valid. And I think it would be, to me, now people might be like, they might think that I'm crazy, might hate me, might unsubscribe, but that makes sense to me. And if all of a sudden she gained a bunch of weight, I'd be like, hey, like, I'm not sure what's going on or what's happening, but like, let's talk about it and figure it out.
Yes.
And I'm saying her to me also, okay? Because I don't want people to, oh, if your wife gains 50 pounds, you're going to divorce her? No, I'm not going to divorce her. We're going to figure out, like, hey, what's going on and how do we get back into shape where we both are attracted to each other, because it would go both ways. It would go for her. It would go for me.
And also, like, to because I feel like people might care, but it's like, if she's still a healthy weight, you're not like attracted to each other at unhealthy weights. You know what I mean? It's just like, you're wanting to make sure that you're both healthy, that you're both like fit and attracted to each other, whatever. I think it's also fine to have weight preference. I think it's okay to have weight preference, but I think that it gets tough when, like, at a certain point in a relationship, Two things. The first one you're going to disagree with me on. The second one I think you might agree with me on. I think at a certain point in the relationship, like, you want to believe that, like, your partner is, like, so attracted to who you are that, like, almost like your body doesn't matter. And that's not true, but I feel like you want to believe that. You know what I mean?
No, I believe that.
Yeah, okay,
yeah,
sure.
you want to believe that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they might lose some attraction towards you.
Yes.
If all of a sudden I gain 50 pounds.
But you want to believe that becomes, like, a smaller and smaller part of like their attraction to you. You know what I mean? And it's like, I just also, okay, so that was my first point. The second point is that if you're having a problem with your partner's weight and then they give you an ultimatum, it's like that, like, girl, stand up. If you get an ultimatum from your partner, leave. About your weight, leave.
Right.
That's it. Leave. Like, because there are so many healthier ways to handle that.
Yeah.
And even if you've had conversations before, I don't care how many conversations you've had before. If he gives you an ultimatum, he's done and you should be done.
Yeah.
You know, like.
So I agree with you 100%. And I also want to just to be clear, because I was only talking about, like, that initial little section of, like, being attracted or not attracted to someone. I think that he's the a-hole and he handled that situation completely wrong. Yeah. Like, you got to weigh yourself right now. If you don't lose 4 kilograms, which is, like, 9 pounds, in the next 5 weeks, I'm going to break up with, like, all of that was wrong.
Girl,
all of that was wrong.
Up. You need to leave that relationship. That is so horrible.
Yeah. Like, because, like, okay, so now he's going to have the power to give you ultimatums for every single thing.
Have some freaking self-respect. Like,
yeah, I don't think we've ever given each other ultimatums. Maybe when we were younger and dating, there might have been some moments or something, but, like, no, we work it out. We talk about it. You gotta figure it out. You can't just be like, it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or at least we haven't done anything that was so bad that it was like, yo.
Yeah. And it's fine because people like conflate that with, like, boundaries, because I'm thinking back to, like, another episode where I said that the girl was okay for, like, being upset that the guy didn't propose to her after 2 years.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like that's a boundary because it was up front, you know what I mean? But this is just clearly like, those are two different things. You can have because, like,
but also it's like, all right, you can weigh within 150 to 170.
Yeah, that's not a boundary. You know what I mean? Like, that's you being like, I don't know, a bad person.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. Yeah. That's just ridiculous. Like that, because that's not even how I envision, like, having a conversation about weight preference. Like, it's not even like that,
No, yeah. No, because that's horrible. It's just like, okay, like, I don't know. Obviously this is a conversation that's been had on the internet a billion times. It's like, okay, you talk to your partner and you're like, okay, let's start eating cleaner. Let's stop buying junk food. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about your routine. I want to help you with this. Let's get healthy together. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's go on walks. Let's find some nice nature walks.
One thing that I hate, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this too, is, well, I don't even know how to really, really articulate what I'm thinking, is like, but when I see things on social media, well, we talked about this in a really, really old episode where there's people that are bigger, but then like they get pissed at, like, people don't like them, or like, and then I met up with this guy in person and he didn't like me and he walked away from the date, and it's like, wait, okay, but you showed him pictures of him when you were 170 pounds and now you showed up at 250 pounds, and he's like, well, that's not what I was expecting and I'm not attracted to that. And then they're like mad and like almost entitled that, like, you need to love me and accept me for where I am. Like, no, so I don't agree with that.
I feel like
you need to love yourself and you need to find someone that likes you for how you are right now. You can't be mad at someone that's not attracted, because that's like me saying I showed up and she left because I wasn't 6'2".
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're not 6'2". Yeah. It's like you. Yeah. But here's my thing, though.
No, my thing.
I feel like people show that because, like, there's gonna be ridiculous people in any group. And, like, of course there's gonna be ridiculous, like, overweight or fat people, right? There's gonna be ridiculous overweight or fat people. But I feel like the reasonable side of that people kind of spin and, like, mix in with, like, the ridiculous people is that sometimes people, like, because, okay, I wasn't, like, mega overweight, but I was overweight. And, like, people are so clear on dating apps when they're overweight. People go, hey, by the way, I'm fat. Just so you know, here are like to the point that they will make sure with other people, it's like, is this what I really look like? Can you see my full fatness in these pictures that I have on my dating profile? Because you don't want to surprise anybody.
Right.
You don't want to get that in-person rejection. That's awful.
But that's because you're a very honest, true person.
No, but what I'm saying
no,
is,
you're not? Okay, fine. Nah.
is that like what I've seen from people and like what I believe is an overwhelming amount of fat people will do that. Because no one wants to be rejected in person. Nobody wants that. So you make sure that you're really, really clear on your dating profile. Only match with me if you're cool with me being over 200 something pounds or 300 something pounds or whatever you weigh, because this is what I look like and I am fat. And even to the point where like you message people, it's like, hey, I know you want to meet up, just so you know I'm fat.
Did you see how fat I was?
Yes. Yeah. And basically like and most fat people from what I've seen do that.
I need people to validate that.
Dude, I used to do that.
No, that's what I'm saying. I believe it 1.72 million % from you because I know how you are.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I also know that there's a lot of people that were gonna try to hide and try to get the date and try to get.
I think it's got to be an overwhelming majority because like who wants to?
I hope so.
Who wants to get there and be like? So I feel like that's when people get upset. It's like how dare you get here? You know, like you're allowed to not be attracted to me, but how dare you get here and be rude about my weight when I told you 40 times before we met up? You know what I mean? Like I put pictures on my profile that were from belly up. You know what I mean? I didn't. That was a joke. You know, but you know, like I'm saying,
so they can see my 3 stomachs, my two boob layers, and my 4 chins.
Dude, like that's how transparent.
You're like, I lifted up the flap, like look at the belly button. You see the diameter of this belly button? Like this is a big girl belly button. Like I don't want there to be no surprises.
Just like put in like a ruler next to like my thigh or something.
Just pictures of your back. Mom, take a picture of my back. Just, you know,
that's nobody's business,
dude.
But yeah, so it's like I feel like people. Overwhelmingly fat people are very transparent when it comes to things like dating apps, because that's what I've seen. Like that's what I have seen in my real life. That's what I have done. That's what I've experienced. And like I just feel like that's when people get upset. It's like you're going to show up at this date and be like, you're too fat for me when I told you 400 times that I weigh over 200 pounds. Like no, like then you're rude. Then you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
you're allowed to not be attracted, but you're not allowed to be rude.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with anyone having a weight preference.
Sure.
But there is a wrong way to demanding you to lose 4 kilograms,
or you're not gonna get married,
or you're not like that's completely wrong.
Girls, stand up.
You're the
stand up.
Yeah.
Have 1 ounce of self-respect.
Get up, stand up.
That's like
stand up. Oh, you're right.
I can't remember if we talked about this on the podcast, but that reminds me of like when people break up with some, it's like, oh, like I broke up with my partner of like 8 years. And then they start telling like their best friends, like, you know, he never washed his ass. And it's like, what? Why were you with him?
Dude,
why are you here?
Like you think you're talking trash about him and you're making him look bad? Like you're making yourself look bad.
You look horrible.
You're making yourself look bad.
Yeah. It's so, like embarrassing and painful.
She's like, yeah, there was always little shit crumbs on the bed.
What? Was that a story that we read?
No.
Okay, that's a story I've read.
No, yeah, not
in my.
Oh, maybe we did. I don't know now.
For sure, I've read that story before. I don't know if I read it on the podcast.
I remember, but I can't remember if that was Cat Williams or Martin Lawrence, or there's a comedian that was talking about like, how are you gonna come over? Like we're about to do the nasty, and you're like, oh, hold on, I have to go to the bathroom real quick. And then he's like, now you're coming into the bed with your little toilet paper shit crumbs all over. Like
that was it. That's an actual story that I don't remember if I've read on the podcast. Maybe somebody will remember. It's like this girl was like, she was married to this guy, and he would always scratch his ass at night.
He would scratch his ass at night?
Yeah, and like just be picking stuff like from his butt. And every morning she would like open the sheets and there was shit crumbs.
Oh my god.
Like dry.
100% you did not read that story.
Like dry shit crumbs in the bed.
But he's picking poo. He's touching poo. I mean, first of all, he's got to clean himself better. Get some wet wipes. Get some flushable wipes. Something.
Yeah, I think his excuse was that his ass is like so hairy that he like can't wipe properly or something.
So I'm not saying I have a hairy ass like this guy,
but
I'm saying wet wipes and you need to get
shave sometimes.
Or even just wet wipes.
The
Because
clippers.
if he's got a hairy ass, then he's not gonna clean it very good with just toilet paper. Or hit it with the toilet paper. Come back and buff it out with the wet wipes. Hit it with the 2-step. He needs
100%. Also get some clippers, babe. If you have a jungle, get some clippers.
Yeah, he's like, sometimes I can't even push it out.
Yeah,
it's like vines.
I was thinking that too.
He's
all mixed in there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, disgusting.
Have you seen when people talk about getting totally naked when they poop?
I don't think so. I know people have do that, but I don't know if
I think that's so funny. I just
sweating.
Just like why or maybe not. It's like, why do you feel the need to get all the way?
What if you're like got to poop at a public restroom?
Then you probably
or maybe they don't.
They don't.
But
that's why like some people are like, I can only poop in my own home, and I feel like those are the people that are getting naked.
Yeah.
When they poop.
Dude, socks are off.
Yeah. Shirt. Why does your shirt need to be off if you're pooping?
Damn.
So funny.
I don't know. What was I gonna say? Oh, or this guy, or like, dude, go shower before bed.
Yeah.
Just shower before bed.
Yeah. But you know they're not washing between their butt cheeks.
Why not though?
But that's also been a conversation on the internet where some people think you don't need to wash between your butt cheeks.
What? Who? What?
It's like, okay. Because like reasonable arguments, some people are like, you don't have to wash between your toes, the water drips. You know what I mean? And like, do I think you should be washing between your toes? Yes. And if you have stinky feet, fix that. But sometimes just a quick shower, I'm not necessarily getting between my toes every time I'm showering for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Every single time I shower, though, I'm washing between my butt cheeks. And some people think with the same logic that the water just drips between your butt cheeks and you don't have to.
That's nasty.
And those people are leaving shit crumbs in the bed.
That's nasty.
Those people are leaving shit crumbs in the bed.
The shit crumbers.
The shit crumbers.
Oh my gosh. A public service announcement. Wash that ass.
Yes, you do have to wash.
You gotta wash that ass, dude.
You have to wash between your butt cheeks.
Ugh. Get a butt cheek loofah.
Dude,
you need like a specific butt cheek loofah.
Dude, for that guy, he needs one that's a one-time use. He has to buy one just to be able to throw it away. Right? You can't use that again.
Like every time?
No. At least for the first time.
Yeah. Someone needs to get that guy Nair.
Dude. Yeah.
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 Oh man. But
or some ball trimmers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Get him. There's what's it called? Manscaped. There's like the brand that's called like Manscaped.
Yeah.
But anyway, damn, good episode. Hope you guys enjoyed that. What should we do next? I don't know. Give us some ideas. You guys want a specific theme or some today I effed up or some petty revenge or something?
Let us know in the comments.
Let us know in the comments what you guys are feeling, and we'll do our best to find something interesting. So
we'll see you on Thursday.
Cool. Peace.